All right, y'all, today we got Ayesha Curry's cheek clapping situation is insane. Is this like the new trend? Wives going out here and trying to put their very successful husband's reputation on the line with embarrassment rituals? Just going around embarrassing them, even though they are providing and taking care of you and handling business? This shit is crazy, bro. Why is she doing this to Stephen Curry? At one point, weren't these guys like the relationship goals of everybody? Like, I just seen her on some podcast talking crazy about him. Like, bro, let's get right into the video. Make sure you guys tap into my Berto 2 channel. Link to that will be in the description. Berto 2, Berto 2, Berto 2. We're almost at 26,000 subscribers over there. Where you at, family? I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Let's get right into it. Come on.
Where you at, Berto?
On August 20th, 2025, Ayesha Curry appeared on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and she said some pretty interesting things.
4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So, I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress.
Holy shit. I almost just died drinking some fucking water. Y'all put some prayer hands for me in the comments, man. Damn, y'all seen that live.
And all of that. And then it happened so early in my life.
Now, again, she's talking about her own personal plans and how that got derailed. But again, this happened almost 2 months ago. But with this podcast, it is now resurfaced all over social media and it's picking up traction again. And I believe the real reason why it is because of this.
Like, this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too. And I need to get my shit together and figure out what that looks like for myself now.
If I have a
Why?
career and I'm not home, like did you experience that?
I still experience.
Okay.
I said this in the last video where I kind of reacted to this situation. It's like, there's nothing wrong with her feeling this way. She's human at the end of the day. She's has every right to wake up and have feelings and, you know, sometimes maybe not regretful, but just like, damn, like, I wish I was able to do X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. But you, like, it is so selfish in her position to be venting and voicing these opinions on a public podcast like this. Like, this is a conversation that she needs to have behind closed doors with her close friends, you know, with her husband, essentially. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Damn, like, babe, I wish I could be doing a little bit more. You know, obviously I love our kids and but I just, you know, I feel like I'm losing myself a little bit. But it's like, do you know how bad this, like, how embarrassing this is for Stephen Curry as a man? Just imagine you married, you providing, you got multiple kids. Like, even the kids, bro, think about what the kids are thinking. Like, the kids get to look back on this on the internet and be like, damn, like, so you regret having us or something? Like, you wish you could have lived another life or something? Like, it's just not a good look. Like, this is not a conversation that you should be having on a public platform, knowing how high status y'all family is. That's weird.
That I still experience that. I'm always in therapy talking about this. If you lose all of those things that were interesting about you, even for yourself, like even the things that made me feel confident and cool, then what are you doing?
Now, here Ayesha Curry is saying, listen, I'm still in therapy because, you know, I have my own plans. I feel like I've lost myself. And this is why we see Ayesha Curry doing certain things like seeking male validation, wearing skimpy clothes, partying with her girls in Toronto without Steph. And of course, this looks like it's disrespectful. But ultimately what Ayesha Curry is saying, I have my own plans. I lost a lot of myself. I'm now a mother. I have 4 kids. And people on the outside of the equation think like, but you're crazy. You're with like one of the best basketball players ever. You're filthy rich. You have it all. I mean, because of him, you have these things. But that doesn't necessarily discount her own experience. And people are now starting to weigh in on it.
Ayesha Curry is a perfect example of why it is so important to have a phase. Go be a.
Whoa, this is terrible advice. What? Yeah, go be a hoe. Go catch something. Matter of fact, go be a hoe and then maybe potentially get preggo by a random person and now have to carry that baby by yourself when you are not even prepared. Now you're gonna motherfucking repeat the cycle of bullshit because you don't have the resources and the time and energy to provide for that child and then raise them incorrectly into this world. Yeah, go do that. What the fuck? Holy shit. The BS that be spewing out of people's mouth, bro. Like, again, I'm a social media, I'm influencer, I'm a creator myself. But holy, the lack of consideration, the lack of brain cells that some people will just get on here and just say anything is insane. Take her phone away. Take her phone away and lock her out. She's not allowed to post no more. Bad.
But be a safe hold though, like protect yourself and don't get pregnant. That's why she's sitting over there feeling trapped with Steph Curry. Sometimes you got to go through some stuff to really appreciate what you have. She probably ain't never been drugged through the mud by a dude. She probably never had a heartbroken time and time again. That's why she can't really appreciate what she has, because it's like, I need something edgy. I need something fun. Like this mom stuff. This being married to Steph Curry, this shit is boring. And now she's really rebelling. She want to be in the streets. She want to be desired by other men. She probably want to do something with another man, because she probably never
Oh my God, just like, bro, get off my screen, bro.
experienced that. Like, when did they get together? Like high school or something? That is not enough time to be out in the world and do stuff and experience stuff. Like, you don't have to experience a whole lot. But I don't think she experienced anything at all. And now she's tied down, married with kids. You can't go do your thing right now unless you go do your thing and run the risk. Like, you ain't just no Lucinda from down the block. You're Ayesha Curry. If you gonna mess with anybody, trust me, we gonna know about it.
Aha, we get it, the phase. Now, this phase, if you can define it, is a particular phase where women are single, typically young, and they're not necessarily having sex, but it could include having sex, or dating, or both, with multiple men. Basically finding out about themselves. And then if you go through these guys, many of them may be bad or not.
Bro, listen, I know I'm a man, and so maybe some of y'all ladies don't want to take my advice, but you don't need to go through a whole phase. Like, there's nothing wrong with dating. There's nothing wrong with, weighing out your options. But that's like that is self-sabotage on the highest level. It's one thing to genuinely be going through something. Like, for example, you find a guy, you like him, you guys are dating, and things don't work out. Things happen, you know what I'm saying? Bad things. And then now you go through a bad situation and you have to learn from that situation. But to purposely be like, oh, I'm gonna do degenerate bullshit on purpose, that's just stupid. That is just dumb. That's literally like, I'm gonna put my hand on the stove even though I know it's hot. Why? It's a difference if you put your hand on the stove and you didn't know. Now that is boom. Okay, you put your hand on the stove, you burned, you learned your lesson. Okay, it's hot. I shouldn't do that again. But to know, to willingly be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and I know it's bad. That's just stupid. That's dumb.
For you, then at the end of this particular phase, you will be able to appreciate the guy that you have, because you've been through so.
That's not how that goes. Because people will make the same mistakes over and over and over again and will never learn to appreciate that shit. That's not how that goes. The learning to appreciate is literally making the conscious decision to be like, yo, I'm going to be better. I'm going to do better. I'm going to make the better decisions. I'm going to acquire better knowledge. I'm going to do research. I'm going to read. I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to put myself out there and actually learn from my mistakes. I'm going to take accountability. That's when you start to appreciate shit. Not just fucking putting yourself through torture, essentially. You're not just going to fucking wake up and be like, oh, I get it now. No, you have to take accountability and self-reflect.
So many guys in situations and had your heart broke that you would find out that this guy, Steph Curry, is the one for you. The problem with Ayesha Curry is because she's been with Steph since she was young, she has nobody to compare him to, which means that she is unsure of her own position. So to us, we think that something is wrong with her, but to her, this is the only guy that she knows about. So she doesn't understand what is really out there. And there are a lot of people who back this claim up.
And I don't even really think the issue with Ayesha Curry is her marriage. I just think that she's a woman that didn't get to have a phase, and she got married and tied down to the first nigga she fell in love with. And because she didn't get to experience different types of males or dating different types of people, not even just being able to be free and do what she want to do, it's coming out now. That's literally what that is.
Bro, I mean, yes, it is what it is, but it's still dumb though. She should definitely just be fucking take some accountability and understand that you have the best situation. She has the most ideal situation anyone can ask for. How do I know? They're still together. They've been together for years. They have multiple kids. Like if she was fed up enough, she would have been left. She would have been left. Why do this now? Do not fuck off your situation, man. Cause it's only a matter of time before Stephen Curry gonna start looking around like, yo, bro, you making me look bad. This doesn't look good on me. And I'm Stephen Curry at the end of the day. With or without you, I'm gonna be straight. Regardless. So don't do this. We're good. We locked in. We've been locked in. I'm holding it down. Stop it.
Again, this lady is saying the same thing. Like, she just needed to get it out of her system. And of course, now there's a rebuttal to this.
Sleeping around for women in their youth is way too easy, and it's hard to respect something that comes too easy. Even from a biological and evolutionary standpoint, a life of escapades with multiple men without any kind of emotional involvement is the antithesis of the female mating strategy. In other words, a woman sleeping around goes against natural law.
Yep.
Scarcity creates value, and girls are depleting their value by making themselves too easily available to men. They don't realize what's waiting for them at the end of it.
And I promise you, once we realize that you ain't got no, like, why would Stephen Curry wife up the whole phase version of Ayesha Curry? What's in it for him at that point? I'm Stephen Curry. And you want me to wife up the girl that's been around the block? So I can be on the court about to shoot this J, and then a nigga look me in my face, and that's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker, get money. What? No. Can't go out like that. That don't make no sense, man. Yo, ladies, do not listen to these women on the internet trying to tell you fucking you need to have a whole phase, bro. Like I said, it's different if you just genuinely doing your best. You genuinely doing your best and niggas tossing you around, fine. Cause that's gonna be like, what will that eventually lead to? You looking for the best out there, you treating niggas with respect, you doing right by niggas, and then they keep, not taking you seriously. Eventually, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have to be like, what am I doing wrong as a woman? Why niggas keep not taking me seriously, and I keep kind of just end up in these situationships and this hookup type shit. What am I doing wrong as a woman? Why they not take it seriously? Boom, self-reflection. Boom, accountability. Boom, self-improvement. And then eventually you gonna present yourself in a certain way where niggas are gonna have a lot more respect for you and, come at you correct. That's the right way to go about it. That's the right way to quote unquote have a hoe phase. It's like where you're not looking to be a hoe, like you generally out here trying to do your best. And life is curving you and teaching you what to do right and wrong. It's the same thing for niggas. You know what I'm saying? I've never ever said to niggas that like, oh, you should just be going out here just slaying hoes left and right, be a degenerate. Like, no, bro. That shows lack of self-control as a nigga, bro. At the end of the day, like, yeah, I do feel like niggas can get with multiple women and it not be as emotionally taxing, but it's still degenerate. It's still stupid. You still shouldn't do it. You still should display discipline as a man. You know what I'm saying? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know what I mean? But hey, what do I know, right? What do I know?
Exciting 10 years or so. They're met with a ruined reputation and a slaughtered self-image. All of their encounters with men has led them to believe that all men want is one thing and that all men are the same, because her perception of men is now extremely skewed. For men who are looking for a woman to date or marry, understand that if her past is a trail of failed relationships and one-night stands, it's safe to draw a few inferences about whether or not she's really even worth your time.
Facts.
Women bond with the man they sleep with, and they develop an emotional connection, which is absolutely necessary from an evolutionary perspective. But this ability to bond stops coming into fruition when she repeatedly treats as nothing more than a physical need to fulfill, with absolutely no emotions involved.
Now, this lady has some strong points. She's saying, like, listen, women are not designed to go from man to man, because if they do, they're going to lack the ability to pair bond in the future. And so when you're in your phase, what you're doing is you're diminishing your self-worth or your worth to a man, because if all of these men on your track record, whether you dealt with them sexually or not, but if you have dealt with them sexually, you have now diminished your value. So I said, look, let me think about this as, not a man that's from the manosphere community, and just coming down real hard on Ayesha Curry. Well, let me think of it like this. I'm now 44 years old. If I was 24 years old and a man wanted to get married to his wife, what would I tell him? I'll tell him, hey man, before you get married, you probably want to get it out of your system. What does that mean? Well, you might want to go out there and clap it up. You might want to go out there and experience who you are as a man, deal with different women. And then once you get to where you are, you will understand that it's not really worth it, and you will settle down with one woman that you can stand. Got it. That's what I would say. And most of us would tell other men this. However, I'm not a woman.
I wouldn't necessarily break it down like that, but I hear what you're saying.
So is there some curiosity out there for women? I believe that just like men, women want to get it out of their system. They have needs, sexual.
We're all human. I mean, yeah, there's nothing wrong with having these thoughts, but again, do we act on every thought that we have? No.
Needs. They need to find themselves. So if I need to find myself as a human and as a man, I can understand a woman doing that. But here's the problem, though, that women just don't understand. If I have 100 women in my life, but I'm successful, I have money, and I have built myself up, to a woman, that might be even more attractive because number one, it may have meant that, well, this guy is more valuable. Two, he may or may not have a level of sexual experience. And, you know, hey, he has some level of things that he can deal with me, and he's the desirable man. This is not to say that every woman thinks like this, but if you can look at every guy who has a lot of money, who has a lot of women or has had a lot of women, most women will not say, well, you know what? I don't want to deal with him because he has so many women, or a lot of women want him. You'll get that sometimes, but not all the time. But if you flip it to what a man can understand, if a man understands that you have many men, and of course, this is why women lie about body count. Why do women lie about body count? Because no woman wants to go into a man and say, you've had 47 dudes.
Fact.
The reason why women don't tell the truth, and they say 47, but now they say 4, is because they know that their worth is tied to their body count. And men do not like phases, all right? Because one thing about phases, if you were yesterday, you're probably a today. We can look at Brittany Renner, which I got tricked because I thought, like, well, maybe she changed her life. Well, she tried to change her life, but a tiger doesn't change their stripes. And so if a man thinks that you were back then he feels like that's just who you are. If you're a woman and you're not, because that's not who you are, then you're not interested in just being with any man. You're interested in being with the man that you want or one man. And that is what is respectable. Now, Ayesha Curry seems like she missed out, and it's okay to seem like you missed out. I know a lot of guys have been married or with a girlfriend for a long time, and they feel like they missed out. And some people do not feel like they missed out. It just depends on the person. I had a biochemistry instructor in medical school. He was probably one of the brightest guys in Poland. He had every opportunity to leave the city that I was in and go to Germany or go to the UK and teach, or even the States. And he said he was fine where he was. And this guy was a PhD medical doctor. He's one of the most brilliant lecturers I've ever seen in my life. Like when he walked in the door, I mean, you were just amazed at his knowledge. But that just wasn't him. He was not, and still isn't, interested in more for himself. And maybe that could be some.
There's nothing wrong with that. Some people are genuinely happy with what they got going on. Like, you know, I always tell people, and this kind of skewing the conversation, but it's like, how do I say this? Be open-minded enough to potentially be inspired to experience something that you've never experienced before, because you don't want to be closed-minded, right? But also don't make people impose their will onto you and make you feel like you're wrong for honestly being content, man. You know, there's no rules to this life shit. And if you're looking at your situation right now and you're like, bro, I'm making good money, I got good relationships, I'm happy, I wake up, I'm smiling every day. When I doze off in my own time, I'm not sad or depressed or like I'm genuinely happy. Don't make people come into your life and try to downplay what you got going on. Like if you are content, like, bro, at the end of the day, what's all this life shit for? Like, it's supposed to be so you can be happy, bro. You know what I mean? And that comes in different shapes and sizes, you know? So me looking at your life, I might look at that shit and be like, hell no, I would never want to go through that. Like, I would not be content with that. But that's my opinion, bro. You know? So while, again, I don't want nobody to be closed-minded, be open-minded enough to maybe see what else is out there for you, because your potential is limitless. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that's between you and anything is your work and your mindset, for real. Like, you could do anything on some G shit, as cliche as it sounds. But that don't mean you need to, though.
People in relationships. But Ayesha Curry definitely was. And the reality is that if Ayesha Curry did go through her phase, Steph Curry would have never wanted her. That's the reason. The reason why he committed to her at such an early age is because she didn't go through her phase.
Facts.
If she had went through a like these
he would not be with her.
women are suggesting, then she would have ended up like them, which was with nobody and broke.
Facts.
As the great economist Thomas Sowell once said, there are no solutions, only trade-offs. Again, there are no solutions, only trade-offs.
Wow, that is actually a great quote. Might need to write that down. There are no solutions, only trade-offs. I love that.
And once you understand that, it all makes sense.
W video, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, bro. But, I gave y'all my thoughts. At the end of the day, man, I think Ayesha Curry, she's in a great position. She needs to learn how to start appreciating that shit. Not to say that she doesn't either, This honestly can be a genuine mistake, and, relationships go through that. They've been married for a very long time. So, I'm not going to sit here and just 100% drill her a new one, but man, like, it doesn't look good though, bro. It doesn't look good. It's already out there. The internet lives forever. So these clips are out there forever. So like, it's just not a good look. I don't know if she'll ever see this, but if you do, lock in, man. You got a good situation, and, maybe have these conversations behind closed doors with your partners, your close partners, and your husband, for real. Don't put your fam on blast like this. It's not cool. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm excited to hear y'all feedback in the comments. My name is Berto. Where you at, family? Y'all already know what it is. Make sure you guys tap into the Twitch stream as well. Link to LB in the description. That's Where You At Berto. Come on, man. Let's do it.
Where you at, Berto? I made this shit look too easy.